amazingly happy with it because the great thing is normally when we release an album and we go on the road and play the new songs, sometimes it takes the fans a bit, not really to get into it, but normally there's a bit of a difference between the old classics and new songs. The reception is very well also with the new stuff, but when you play one of the classic songs, it gets a bit wilder. That's been quite different on this tour because the new songs that we're having in the set are received pretty much the same as whatever Nightfall or any other song, which is great for us because it shows the album works pretty well, I guess. And people love the mix of songs that we've been playing so far, and we're pretty happy with that.
Anything to add?
Yeah, maybe the one thing that was different this time was that the album was released some months ago before we started touring, and normally it was a little closer.
True.
So
that might have helped.
Fans had more time to learn the lyrics by heart, and like the songs were really settling down.
Obviously, as you mentioned, we can't bring an orchestra and a choir with us on tour. That would be a bit too expensive, I guess, and would be too much of a hassle. But I mean, it's not the first time that we're playing songs like that live. I mean, we did like And Then There Was Silence to pick the first real big epic one that we had. We're playing that live since forever, and also stuff like Sacred Worlds or Wheel of Time. It works. I mean, we have a keyboarder with us that takes care of the orchestration stuff. We have to play them on keyboards, obviously. And we're trying to fill in with our backing vocals as much as we can do. It's obviously a stripped down version of the real huge album production, but after all, it's live, and there has to be a difference between the stage and the album. Otherwise, you can also stay home and listen to the album.
Yeah, and I think it's like more focused on the essential tracks. Yeah. In the end, like the essential lines. That is actually, some people told me that they like the live versions in that way better than the studio versions because they have a very clear and powerful approach, which is of course a little watered, let's say, on the variety of the studio version.
Yeah, it's the more raw, more heavy, more direct version of what we did in the studio. Yeah. I wouldn't say so, because when we write songs, it's always music first. The story only, the final lyrics only come last, which does not make them not important, obviously, because in the end, everything has to be one whole. But at least for me, my personal point of view, the lyrics are not the most important part of the whole thing, But everything, the whole song has to work. Lyrically, musically, everything has to come together and form this union, whatever you want to call it.
I personally agree with your opinion.
I'm happy.
Yeah, because I'm also like listening first to the music, maybe being a musician, like the music jumps at me more than the lyrics. And but I definitely see your point, because, or I know what you mean, because Hansi is like basically writing the lyrics, and the lyrics are always inspired by bigger stories. So I think it's natural that those lyrics also try to tell a story, since he likes storytelling that much, So it's pretty clear to me that like the bigger story is still told.
We don't plan any changes, We're perfectly happy, the chemistry within the band is brilliant, and I think that reflects on the musical output as well, because that last album to take the recent release is exactly what we wanted to do, and we're perfectly happy. Now we're on the road doing the gigs that we want to do, and whenever we're done, which is still far away in the future, with that album, we'll start working on new stuff and continue our journey. definitely not. I mean, we love what we're doing, and thank God people love what we're doing as well. So there's absolutely no reason to even think about quitting. You know, I've been asked that question like I don't know 10 years ago. You already
turn old. That's why.
I know, you know, and that was exactly the point. Somebody was talking to me, you know, back then I was like the end of my 30s or so, and they go, do you already think about quitting at some point, because you know that's metal and you can't do it forever? And I was like, are you fucking nuts? I mean, I was like whatever, 37, 38, 39, and I was like, I don't really think about stopping anytime soon, and actually I'm not thinking about stopping at all. You know, why should I stop doing something that I love, that I'm physically still perfectly able to do, and that our fans are still enjoying? So I don't see any end.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the venues, big or small, have their advantages, and I like the intimacy and the, let's say, smaller venues that you like have a direct contact with the audience. There's a different vibe. You have like a more, again more intense vibe coming on, and this is definitely different than also like the physical distance is smaller. You know, at festivals you have like a trench of several meters. I know. Oh, UK. We have to talk in feet now. So several feet, and
no, we know we're backwards.
And then we have just less feet here in the smaller clubs. So that's actually something that I really like, and like having more contact to the audience.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, we'll try to deliver a good mix. Focus on early stuff, on stuff somewhere in the middle, on new stuff, obviously. And I mean, we change the set a bit every day, you know, to keep it interesting for ourselves. Because if you're on the road for like 2 years and you play the very same songs every night, it gets pretty boring at some point. So we try to mix it a bit every now and then. And I think I said it before, the feedback from the fans, especially about the set list and the choice of songs that we're presenting on this tour, has been very, very positive. So I guess the people in the UK will be happy as well. I hope so. Be happy. We'll still be on the road.
Yeah, we'll play
some
a lot of festivals in summer, and then
yeah.
have a big second leg of the US tour in September. And so maybe after this, regarding to like, we were already reconsidering maybe continuing a little bit touring, but this is not clear yet. But on the other hand, it's like already 2 years ago since we started touring then.
Wow.
Yeah,
It will be 2 years then, and then the songwriting phase will somehow pop up again, and we have to focus on that somehow.
We'll definitely still be touring in December, so
Yeah.
so we know that already. You know, we'll, as you said, we'll do all the festivals. You know, like whatever Hellfest and Sweden Rock, and we'll be headlining Wacken, and we'll be headlining Prog Power in the USA, and play some festivals in Canada. After the US tour, we'll go to Japan, play Loud Park. After that, we'll go to Taiwan, play there, first time in our history. Then more shows in Europe in December and stuff. So
that's enough to think about.
for this year, it's going to be touring, a bit of touring, and a couple of gigs.